It can be here. Huh? It can be here. Just.
Silence, please. Silence, please. Can we have silence, please? So, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
So, this is the third program pertaining to the International Yoga Day today. And we have with us Mr. Yogi Balakrishna, who's a spiritual teacher and a thinker, and he'll be talking to us on the power of yoga and mindfulness. Respected R.K. Sinha sir, Head PMI, Rashna Bal ma'am, GM PMI, all senior colleagues and leaders of the organization who have joined through MS Teams and YouTube, and all colleagues, friends, my dear ETs who are here physically present in this room, and all other colleagues and friends and families of employees who have joined through YouTube and through MS Teams. So welcome everyone. Just giving a brief introduction about Yogi Balakrishna ji. He is a spiritual teacher, as I said, a thinker, author and founder president of Vedant Vidya Sansthan Trust. He has been teaching yoga and Vedanta for over a decade now and regularly conducts spiritual sessions and retreats. In addition to working for happiness and holistic well-being of the people, his area of interest is application of profound and timeless Indic wisdom in the corporate context and its synthesis with the modern management practices. Combination of spiritual knowledge and his own experience of working in corporates makes him uniquely equipped to disseminate spiritual wisdom in the corporate area. His inspirational talks and workshops enable individuals and teams to thrive in this fast-changing and challenging business space with peace and poise. He is also a recipient of the Kaka Kalikar Samman for 2019, awarded by Hindi Sansthan UP for his work on Kenopanishad. So, welcome Balakrishna ji, and over to you, sir, for this session. Thank you very much.
So, am I audible? Thank you, Chandramouli ji, for wonderful introduction. I'm humbled. Namaste, Sinha sir. Namaste, ma'am. So, I congratulate you on this International Yoga Day. And I'm sure there were events in the morning, maybe after that, and I'm told this is third event. We'll keep it fairly interactive, even though it will be in the form of lecture and a talk. There will be moderate interaction. It won't be a discourse. And my pranams to all those who are watching it on YouTube and Teams also. So I can't see you or communicate to you directly, but I'll keep in mind that I'm talking to you also. So my pranams. Well, when it comes to yoga, we say yoga, we have certain understanding about yoga. Just for sampling, I want to ask question here with this group. I have my own ideas what people understand about yoga, but let me ask to this group, and through this group as a reflection to the people who are on the YouTube and Teams. What is yoga? What is the deliverance of yoga? Especially the ETs, the youngsters. What do you think about yoga? What yoga is? Yeah? Stand up and say. Add karna. Literal meaning. Give a big hand. So start with the basic. Yoga means to join, to add. The core root, the root word is yuj. Yuj means to join. To join what?
Body and mind.
Self-knowledge. अपने strength को जानना. Give him big hand. I strongly identify with you. I was management training with Steel Authority some 2-3 decades back. I was just thinking and feeling like you people. So a part of me knows who you are, from where you are coming. So be very friendly, right? I'm just your friend, no yogi, nothing. Now, in my interaction, usually we have a very surface, very superficial knowledge about yoga. Often it is reduced to just some kind of a asana, some kind of a breathing exercise, sometimes naturopathy. It all is that, but it is just part of it. It is not the whole of yoga. No. Like I would say, ki don't make yoga teeth or skin deep, not just the Dantakanti, Keshakanti, or the naturopathy. It's all beautiful. Having good teeth, good skin, a vibrant body is necessary. It's the start. Yoga is much more than that. Now reflect on the story. There was British Air Force during World War II, and they had a base at Burma, somewhere in the jungles of Burma. So after the war was over, they had to leave their plane, one of fighter planes, for logistic reason. A live working fighter plane, because of the logistic, they had to leave at the site. That area was surrounded by tribal village. है ना, आदिवासियों का गांव था वहां पे. तो एक आदिवासी just explore करते करते वहां तक पहुंचा जहां उनका बेस था, and saw a beautiful machine lying there. And he was intrigued. What is this? Little frightened, little curious. तो अपने दो चार दोस्तों को गांव से बुला के फिर उसे गांव ले आता, बिकॉज वो बहुत मीनिंगफुल मशीन लग रही थी कि काफी इसमें कुछ होना चाहिए. तो उसने ले जाके फाइटर प्लेन को गांव में बीचों बीच सजा दिया. एंड देन एवरीवन इज लुकिंग एट दैट मशीन, चिल्ड्रन आर प्लेइंग. सो एक स्मारक की तरह वहां वो बन गया. Many months later, one pilot happened to come to that area as a tourist, and he say, "Hey, look, here's a fighter plane, state of the art." Then, and these Adivasis, they are, I mean, Adivasis means not trained, so don't take into that term. So they, because they are not knowing what it is, so they are just reducing it to a toy. Then he explains them in their own language, tries to connect with them, that hey, this is not a toy, and it shows them how it starts and how it works in certain manner. So ऐसे ही योगा भी है. योग को क्या है ना कि कभी कभी हम बहुत छोटे से देखते हैं. It is not a toy, it is something which is a great deliverance. And in this short 1 hour talk discussion, we'll see what yoga is, what the profundity of the yoga is, and what it delivers and how it is useful to us. योग में जैसे दो चीजें होती है, एक क्रियात्मक होती है और एक विचारात्मक होती है. तो 1 घंटे में हम क्रियात्मक तो कुछ नहीं कर पाएंगे, प्लस हाँ यहाँ पे हम ना शीर्षासन कर सकते हैं ना प्राणायाम कर सकते हैं. सो मैं विचारात्मक रखता हूँ, बिकॉज आई एम अ स्टूडेंट ऑफ वेदांता ऑल्सो, विच इज प्योरली विचारात्मक. देयर इज नो क्रिया देयर. So we'll keep it vichara, because vichara is also a big thing. A lot of changes happens here if we are prepared. Yeah. So I'll use my presentation to make certain points. But let me ask you, as a human being, what we are doing here. Here means in this life, on this planet Earth. This question. As a human, what we are doing? Think about that. What you're doing. See, based on everyone's understanding, station, education about life, we are seeking something. Be with me. At every adult life is seeking something. It is given. Hello. Yeah. So we are seeking something. Any denial, sir? Based on my understanding, evaluation of what life is, what my life is, what the big life is, what my life is, we are seeking something, right? Now, what are we seeking? Let us again, I'll give you a question. अगर कोई बाधा ना हो, कोई समस्या ना हो, तो आप कितना पैसा कमाना चाहेंगे? हाँ, Say loudly. Somebody said something. How much money? Oh, wonderful. Give a big hand for his honesty. If you could live life, how long would you like to live? Forever. Nobody wants to die. Here, who's prepared to die? Except me. I'm ready to drop dead, but God will not allow. That's not the design at the moment. Guys, we want to live forever. How many girlfriends you want in life? Youngsters. And infinite, seriously. Or the boyfriend. So, to the transposition, gender biases you have to correct. I am not gender biased person. So when I use he, the ladies can look at she also, and it will be valid. Right? So to put everything, actually we are seeker of limitless. You have answered, beautifully you answered. In all our seeking, what we are seeking actually is limitlessness. कोई सीमा नहीं चाहिए. Now, if you look at life, everything is limited. Salary is limited. My role is limited. And sometimes my wife limits me. Sometimes my children limits me. My boss limits me. My subordinate also doesn't obey. Poses a limitation. Yes or no, friends? We face the limitation is the rule of life. And we are a desirer of what? Limitlessness. What a paradox. Yoga addresses this paradox. So, now let us see how we are seeking this limitlessness. This is how we are seeking. We are seeking this limitlessness in objects, right? Money, position, possessions, and pleasure. Cartoons, no? They are good. These cartoons are good. But fundamentally, we are seeking limitlessness. Now, question the way we are seeking. How many? All of you are engineers only, right? Now, these things are how they are earned through action. They are a result of particular action. So, being a seeker, I want limitlessness, which I am trying to discover maybe now through certain triggering. Now, my whole pursuit of seeking this limitlessness is through objects, through my actions. Action produces a limited result. Because the action itself is limited, coming from a limited resource, the result will be what? Limited or unlimited? Limited action can produce what kind of a result? Unlimited? Limited. How many times you have to add limited to make it limitless? That means addition is not possible. Because don't have that kind of a time, right? To add everything and then become limitless. What I'm trying to point out, sir, is it's a fallacy. You have to question or to call out your own error. We are seeking limitlessness through limited action. That means what? That maybe it is not a product of action per se. अगर मेरे अंदर अनंतता की प्यास है, सबके अंदर अनंतता की प्यास है. Take a deep breath. Please. Validate this is that. Are we not desirer of limitlessness? Any denial? Raise your hand. We are all desirer of limitlessness because live forever, have everything of the world. So जब ये मेरे अंदर अनंतता की प्यास है, असीमित को पाने की प्यास है, तो उसका सल्यूशन भी होगा जो कि यहां नहीं है. So Veda says and the yoga says what you are seeking is actually hidden in you. Else it's not possible. How else it is going? The equation is going to be solved. So we are all seekers of what is buried in us. We don't only see. We'll see in this 60, 70 minutes of time that I have. Now reflect on this story. 10th man missing story, have you heard? Panchatantra Vedanta story. It seems कि एक आश्रम में 10 स्टूडेंट्स थे. एक बारी गुरु के आदेश से वो 10 स्टूडेंट्स एक कुछ हर्ब पिक करने के लिए अक्रॉस द रिवर गए. तो गुरु ने एक को लीड बना दिया कि भाई इनको लेके जाओ तुम और से लेके आओ हर्ब्स को, क्वांटिटी में चाहिए था, बल्क में चाहिए था. So everyone went. Now while coming back, the lead counted the people. है ना, he wanted to be sure कि जो रोल दिया गया है, they counted 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Hey, 10th man is missing. है ना, so 3 4 times he counted 9, and then suddenly his 10th man has washed away in the river, it seems, and he started crying. Oh, 10th man is missing. Because he was the lead, other also his colleagues were started crying. 10th man is dead, is washed away. Now this drama was being watched by an old person who was standing nearby. He says, what happened? And then crying, in cracking voice, he says, sir, my 10th friend is washed away. He could count, all were 10 people, right? So he said, count again. 1 2 3 4 6 7 8 9. And said, you, the 10th man, right? So our search of happiness, of joy, of limitlessness is like the search of that missing 10th man, which has to be you. Which has to be you. And that yoga delivers that missing 10th man. The Veda says Tattvamasi. What you're seeking, you are that. Or Aham Brahmasmi. Sufism says Anil Haq. Right? So from being the seeker through the limited, yoga is a vehicle which through this limited body mind sense delivers you to the limitlessness nature of yours. There is no other vehicle which can. It's such a beautiful way to address your core fundamental pursuit. So usually we are object oriented. At one place, Upanishad says, Paranchikani vyatranat swayambhu tasmat paraka pashyati na antaratman. Means, the Rishi says, it seems the Lord has destroyed our senses by making it go outward, outward, outward. कभी हम अंदर देखते हैं? Do we pause and look within? Who we are, what this body is, why we feel the way we feel. Do you question that? Why anger happens in me? Do you question that? No, you just become angry. And somebody becomes a victim of your anger. Because you become victim of your own anger. So generally, we are, how to remove that? The corner one? Please, ma'am. So one discipline of yoga is from being object oriented to being subject oriented also. Look at you. And yoga helps that because you withdraw, you do certain things with you, certain processes with you. Subject means your thoughts, your feelings, your deeper desires, what your pursuits. And finally, one has to be the consciousness oriented. The consciousness is a big and mystical word. What is consciousness? If anyone understands what is consciousness, he can take a class of yoga and Vedanta both. Feeling conscious is one thing. And raise your hand, everyone, please. And tap you're feeling this, right? You're alive, conscious people. You're conscious because consciousness is in us right now. This body, the consciousness is there. When a person dies, what happens? Is he conscious? Consciousness has gone away from that body permanently. What is that consciousness? And that has to be you. So inquiry into what this consciousness is the core inquiry of Vedanta and the core search of yoga. Because this consciousness itself is limitless entity. What is the size of space? Size of space. Space itself is limitless. My mind can understand space, which itself is limitless. Can you catch space? Can you cut space? Destroy space? Oh. We see the space in this room. Is it a divided space? Do you think the walls are able to divide the space? No, it's only compartmentalizing the space. You bring down the wall, do some vichar along the line, and some insight will happen. अगर हम ये सारी दीवारें गिरा दें तो जो कमरे का जो विभाजित स्पेस दिखता है मुझे, ये विभाजित है. Is one with the space outside. In fact, the wall are lying in the space. Wall are not dividing the space. They are kind of compartmentalizing the space, and they exist in space. So to the consciousness is a deep inquiry. Now, when I say, what is yoga? So for me, yoga is that discovery. And when I say it is discovery of limitlessness, will you be able to discover limitlessness right away? It's a long, arduous process. But at least you will see the vision clearly. So the purpose of yoga is to discover that fundamental need in us to be limitless and then manifest it outside. Otherwise, outside achievements are not going to satiate you, sir and ma'ams. बाहर का जितना भी achievement है, that's very good. One should be an achiever in life. But that achievement spiritually will not satiate you. The प्यास will be there. Tell me one man जो अपनी wealth से satisfied हो गया हो. Do you know anyone? All Forbes people, that's it. I'm done. And so that is something which is okay. And maybe that is good also, but individually somewhere inside they miss that dimension. They're great leaders and achievers. They create jobs, change lifestyles. But look at their life. Sometimes they themselves struggle spiritually. Are we connecting, sir? Yes or no? So, two factors of yoga. One is discovering that limitlessness that we are, and the other is manifesting that outwardly. Now, when we say yoga, we see a lot of terminologies, words, and things. Can we just laugh for a moment? Because abhi lunch ke baad aate hain na, thoda sa, my guru says everything goes to Uttar Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh, nothing comes to Uttar Pradesh. Anyway, just laugh. Please raise your hand and laugh. Because post-lunch yoga session itself is a kind of a difficulty. Even though we are doing vichara, but then vichar ke liye bhi ye chahiye hoga. Different hues of yoga. You hear about karma yoga. Most of you have heard about karma yoga, hatha yoga, laya yoga, bhakti yoga, kriya yoga, mantra yoga, swara yoga, jnana yoga, raj yoga. These are very popular terms. Because often I get questions, what should I take? Because हमारे यहाँ क्या है ना कि हिंदुस्तान में spirituality यहाँ की खेती है basically. We are spoiled for spiritual options. Seriously, we have so many things. We don't have one book. There are 108 Upanishads, 18 Purans, Bhagavad Gita, and then Shiva Sutra, Brahma Sutras. So, and everything is talking the same thing. So we are spoiled with the choices. And often choices also confuse us. So therefore, this slide, that all this is just a color. All this just a color. If you look at human expression, we are capable of three things. We can feel, we can think, and we can act. Students, ETs, please. What are human bodies capable of in manifestation, in expression? We can think, we can feel, we can act. Anything else? That is a verb which cannot come into these categories. Think of that. Not there. thinking, feeling, acting. So only three fundamental dimensions of yoga. So anyone who is more feeling oriented can start with Bhakti Yoga. Anyone who is more thinking oriented or logical or rational like you can start with inquiry or the Jnana Yoga, or even Karma Yoga, because you are all ingenious. You have to act. So act and inquire. There also you need certain Shraddha, certain Bhakti. Maruti 800 had how many cylinders? Maruti 800? How many IC engine? IC engine किसने किसने पढ़ा हुआ है यहाँ पे? Yeah. How many cylinders Maruti 800 had? Three cylinders. It's out of vogue now. Now, for vehicle to run properly, how many cylinders should be fired out of three? One. अगर किसी गाड़ी में 3 cylinders हैं, तो कितने fire करने चाहिए for the vehicle to run smooth? All three, right? Otherwise, the ride will be bumpy. So therefore, all our thinking, feeling, action has to converge. So they are not mutually exclusive, as you understand. One confusion. So something is your strength. Being an engineer, you can be more man of action. Plus you have analytical brain, so inquiry. But then you have to have certain Shraddha on this immensity called universe, which runs so beautifully, so orderly, without taking any permission from us. The most intelligent entity around us is what? This universe only. We are a tiny part of this intelligent universe. If you take out one human DNA and decode, they say there is content of 1000 pages of book in one human DNA. Totally, because it has everything. Na, kya design hoga mera, kis body ka kya size hoga, kis part ka. There's all the detail. One tiny thing comes from where? This natural intelligence, na? Not any artificial intelligence. So having a sense of surrender, a sense of connection at least to this immensity called universe is, so fundamentally, it is all convergence of all three. And today's day was beautiful for me. I was lucky that a book of mine on Patanjali Yoga Sutras was released in the morning in Jaipuriya Management Institute. And I had a short talk there on Patanjali Yoga Sutras, basically. So when we say Patanjali Yoga Darshan, it talks about the totality. Right? No, because today is International Yoga Day, I'm taking this liberty to be more on the traditional side, but then we'll go to contemporary side where you will connect more. What I say is, Patanjali Yoga Sutra is called Ashtanga Yoga also. That means it has 8 limbs. Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayam, Pratyahar, Dharana, Dhyana, and Samadhi. 8 limbs. So generally we see asana or pranayam. So Patanjali ji defines all them through one cryptic sutras. The organization of Patanjali Yoga Sutra is such that अभी जैसे modern में हम file zip करते हैं. So there are 196 different sutras which are very compressed body of knowledge. The whole yoga philosophy is zipped into 196 cryptic sutras. So they have to be unzipped, looked into, practiced. He defines yama as what is not to be done. Yama sa yama. जो नहीं करना है. We all know क्या नहीं करना है usually. But then he reiterates. Do we know क्या नहीं करना है? झूठ मत बोलो, किसी को चोट मत पहुंचाओ. जो नहीं करना है उसके लिए एक ही मापदंड है कि जो हमको नहीं अच्छा लगता है ना, जो मैं नहीं चाहता हूं कि लोग मेरे से करें, हम दूसरे को साथ भी ना करें. राइट? यही इसका फंडामेंटल है. डू यू वांट समबडी टू हर्ट यू? or steal from you, or lie to you. All those values, yama. Satya, ahimsa, asteya, brahmacharya, aparigraha, yamaha. That's how it is. All these values. Then next is what is to be done. Niyama. Shaucha, santosha, tapaha, swadhyaya, ishwara pranidhanani niyamaha. 5 words. Shauch means cleanliness. Cleanliness is godliness, right? Everything, body should be clean, the area should be clean. And a Swachh Bharat, Modi ji is driving very well. So Shauch, Santosh, there has to be a contentment born out of understanding. जो हम कर रहे हैं अभी जहां पे है एक संतोष का भाव होना चाहिए. परम संतोष नहीं, एक असंतोष भी होना चाहिए, लेकिन संतोष केंद्र में होना चाहिए. असंतोष क्यों? नहीं तो ग्रोथ नहीं होगी आपकी. स्टेशन विल नॉट ग्रो, यू विल नॉट मूव. लेकिन असंतोष पूरा रहेगा तो यू विल नॉट बी एबल टू एंजॉय व्हाट यू हैव. अनलेस यू हैव सैटिस्फैक्शन, यू हैव सो मेनी थिंग्स, यू विल नॉट बी एबल टू अप्रिशिएट एंड एंजॉय बिकॉज संतोष नहीं है. Do you know what is the value of human body? Even though organ sale is banned, especially in India, if you Google in international market, the human body will fetch you roughly 50 crore rupees. How much? 50 crore. Do you feel like that you possess 50 crore asset? Do you think like that? You think, yeah, we are bigger basically. 50 crore ka showroom leke, we just having begging consciousness. Ye de do, wo de do. Begging for happiness at least. There's so many people not able to see. We have eyes. Is there a sense of wonderment? Are you able to see me? Not many people in the world are not able to see anything. Do you have that sense of gratitude? Do we think like that? We assume, oh, everybody sees. My neighbor also sees. Sense of gratitude, sense of wonderment is the beginning of yoga. Shiva Sutra says, Vismayaha yoga bhumika. छोटा बच्चा अगर आप उसको ऑब्जर्व करें, है ना, 6 महीने का, 8 महीने का, साल भर का, for that child everything is a wonder. He says, what is this, that, because memory में कोई reference नहीं है ना, फ्रेश है, शीट फ्रेश है, तो बच्चों को हर चीज वंडर लगता है ना. चिड़िया जैसे चहकती है तो कैसा कीनली देखता है, एंड वी फॉरगेट दैट वंडरमेंट. क्यों? क्योंकि यहाँ रेफरेंस है. यू थिंक यू नो. फ्रॉम वन पर्सपेक्टिव हम क्या जानते हैं? हम सिर्फ चीजों का सत्व नहीं जानते हैं. वी नो दियर नेम, वी नो दियर फॉर्म, we also try to know their functionality, and we think we know things. Are you an engineer? So 3 levels of knowledge we do get through science: name, form, functionality, right? Behind that also there is something which empowers name, form, and functionality. For something to be, something has to be there before. थोड़ा सा हाई है. Anyway, so coming next, asana. Niyama is what you will again touch base. Asana is sthira sukha asanam. That is how he defines. Patanjali ji does not spend a lot of time only on asana. He just writes one sutra out of 196. Rest are described in elsewhere, called Hatha Yoga Pradipika. So asana definition is स्थिर सुख आसनम. लाइक अभी आप लोग बैठे हुए हो, दैट इज ऑल्सो वन आसन. आर यू कंफर्टेबल? आर यू स्टेबल? यू आर नॉट फॉलिंग? तो स्थिर सुख, इन अ वे इट इज एन आसना, बट परहैप्स यू कैन नॉट मेडिटेट ऑन दैट पोजीशन. तो यहाँ जो पतंजलि महाशय जो आसन की बात कर रहे हैं, इट इज फोकस दैट मेडिटेशन दैट विल कम नेक्स्ट, सो दैट यू सिट कंफर्टेबली, यू कैन डू प्राणायाम. नेक्स्ट इज प्राणायाम. तस्मिन् सति श्वास प्रश्वास योगति विच्छेदः प्राणायाम. So having done some mastery on the asana, you do pranayama. In the morning you would have done all people on YouTube and teams also, I am sure, it being International Yoga Day, कोई ना कोई सब आपने लोगों ने भी किया होगा. So pranayam, the different kinds of pranayam. And in this forum, perhaps I cannot teach you. Pratyahar is withdrawal. Pratyahar is withdrawal so that you can meditate by your man of action. But every time in 24 hours you don't act, right? Now, if we are committing and we recognize the value of our search to be limitless, we have to assign some time to this pursuit. Or every time in action and going out and having fun and all that. There's a law called 80-20. Pareto was a statistician and he proposed one law called 80-20, right? Pareto's principle. What is that? 80-20 law? Right. So what I'm saying, when the limitlessness is at stake, जब अनंतता की प्यास जो है वो stake पे है, should you not give 20% of your time? It is not 80%, it is actually all. When all is at stake, should you not give 20% of your time? Because that will make you efficient in your work also. Because in work, what happens is my search interferes. It is not because it is not addressed, so it will surface as frustration, as anger, as so many things. Because you are wrongly seeking, as I've already pointed out. So 20% of your time in 24 hours means what? How many minutes? 50 minutes.
क्योंकि मैं गेस्ट में लॉगिन हुआ तो गेस्ट वाले
20% is long. Right, 20% becomes 2.8 hours. I say give 40, 50.
बोला मैं गेस्ट में लॉगिन हुआ तो गेस्ट वाले भी लॉगिन हो जा रहे हैं. हाँ वो सभी लोग लॉगिन हो गए यार, नॉर्मल बनाया हुआ है, कोई इसमें कोई सेटिंग्स पे डाला नहीं.
Okay, so please prioritize. For me, prioritizing will happen only when you see the value of your search. It will not happen until you really see the value of your search, which is difficult to see actually. Intellectually understanding is very simple. जैसे प्यासे को प्यास लगती है ना, मछली को अगर हम समुद्र से निकाल दें तो उसकी एक यर्निंग होती है. तो जब उस तरह हम सर्च को आइडेंटिफाई करते हैं, देन वी अपोर्शन अ प्रायोरिटी, वी गिव सम टाइम, सम रिसोर्सेज. In a day, at least give 40-50 minutes for self-study, studying some spiritual work and practice of pranayama. Only then your track to searching the core search of the life will be fulfilled, and that will make you immensely available for work efficiently. After pratyahara, then is dharana. Pratyahara is withdrawal. Dharana is when you focus your mind on one particular object or idea or thought or a problem. It's called concentration, dharana. Most of our scientists do practice dharana, unless you cannot make any discovery. To be immensely focused. You focus so much that everything gets excluded. You're not aware of yourself and the world, you only see the problem or the object. And when the dharana matures, then dhyan happens. Meditative absorption happens. And when the dhyan further deepens, it is called samadhi. And we're trying to understand that intellectually what is samadhi is just you. It is seeing yourself in your own glory. Right? तो तत्व प्रत्यय एकात्मता ध्यानम तदेवार्थ मात्र निर्भासम स्वरूप शून्यम इव समाधि. So when you intently focus so much that everything else is forgotten, only that object shines in its own glory, that Patanjali Mahodaya describes as samadhi. That is essentially my own nature. So this is in a traditional manner. This is what Patanjali ji tells about Yoga Vidya. Are we connecting, sir? I'm able to explain. So it is to practice. I'm just vichar mein I can just kind of induce certain inquiry and give you totality what it is. So let us come into little contemporary words that you understand. And so from traditional to little more contemporary. You are ingenious. If you look at the word, there are two sets of a problem. One that is focused on the word, and other that is focused on me. Well, I agree. Two sets of problem. So like problem of learning a technology, problem of managing a technology, running a power plant, anything is problem of what? Word. Now having frustration, having stress, having anger, having depression, this problem is centered on what? On me. Now when you say me, what defines me? In your body, primarily, what defines you? मैं का केंद्र क्या है जिसको मैं कहता हूं? Can we laugh? Please get up and laugh. ETs, please get up and laugh. So some blood will rush. Huh. Please. So I was asking, मैं जिसको मैं कहता हूं उसका केंद्र क्या है? This body I call me, right? This body is me or there's something more me? What is the center of my sense of self, me? Sir? Kidney, liver, where me is centered? Mind. Center of me is what? Mind. In our general appreciation of a human, you say I'm hurt. Somebody abuses you. You get hurt? Where exactly you get hurt? दिल में तो दर्द होता है, दिल में दर्द होता है, but exactly this is called विचार, because आपने कहा ना क्रियात्मक योग है और विचारात्मक योग है. अब क्रियात्मक तो इस कक्ष में होगा नहीं, तो विचारात्मक में थोड़ा नींद भी आती है, because कनेक्ट नहीं बनता है, because I have to pull you to some level. So this will help you. Is it not mind? दिल मतलब ब्लड प्रेशर बढ़ता है, दिल में चोट होती है, बट एक्चुअली जब हर्ट करता है, जैसे आई विल हैव slide here also, but post lunch for ETs especially, how to manage your hurt if that is not your question. So जब हम हर्ट होते हैं तो क्या होता है? पहले हम उस चीज को सुनते हैं कान से, फिर मन उसको व्याख्या करता है, किसने मुझे गाली दी, right? So where exactly we get hurt? Mind, center. What is the center of sense of self? It's mind. Actually it is not mind, but generally it is mind. Because we say na, मैं मतलब क्या है? Body, mind, sense. These three things make me. That is my knowledge. That is your knowledge. That is general knowledge, which we are questioning. Is that me? This body, mind, sense, is that me? Or there's something more to that? So do we agree that mind is the center of myself? जैसे अभी कोमा में चला जाता है आदमी, what happens to him? He is alive, he is breathing, right? But is he there? Sense power. His mind is only gone into, it's comatose what? From the standpoint of mind. Body is functional. Every other function of the body is there. Mind is gone asleep, deep asleep, unable to even come back. So, like, possibility is there because the person is not gone. Consciousness is there, but mind is not there. Now, what is mind? So, my next inquiry is because मेरे मैं का केंद्र मन मन है और मैं चोटिल होता हूं, है ना? तो चोट का केंद्र क्या हुआ? मन हुआ, है ना? जिसको हम हार्ट भी कहते हैं, बिकॉज फीलिंग वाइज हार्ट कहते हैं. हार्ट को भी माइंड ही चलाता है. If you are, so mind. So what is mind? So next inquiry is what is mind? Now I'm coming to your language because Patanjali language is very high flight. So think, what is mind? Source of thoughts. I'll give you a big hand. Mind is a source of thoughts. Not only it's a source of thoughts, actually. So mind is actually not the source of thought. Source of thought again is consciousness. Mind itself is flow of thoughts. I'm just rushing because more interaction means more time. Mind is only flow of thoughts. Vritti pravaha iti manaha. The mind, which is so problematic entity, is actually so simple. When you are not able to sleep in night, what happens in your mind? What is your status? I'm sure सबको कभी ना कभी अनिद्रा की दिक्कत होगी, है ना? क्या होता है जब सो नहीं पाते हैं तो? Overthinking होती है, right? Thought, something you got stuck with, and thought, uncontrolled thoughts आते हैं, and mind keeps you wake up. So, what is mind? Mind is actually flow of thought. Understand that. I'm not doing any kriya here. Now that mind, which is flow of thought, can be either your friend or it can be either your enemy. Mind is just flow of thought. Let us do one process, small process. Otherwise, it's become more theoretical. What we will do is, it's called catch your mind. We'll take a deep breath and listen to me. Take a deep breath, close my eyes, both the eyes, and put your attention in the center of the brow. Everyone, please do that. And see what happens in the space of head. When you close eyes, there is space inside. What happens? Take a deep breath. Hold your breath. Eyes closed. And just see between your brows. Yes, over. Please. What do you see individually, quickly? What do you experience? What you saw? Anybody saw thoughtlessness? And some people are still there, gone into deeper layers, like it seems. So what happens, and I will not repeat that, when you be attentive and observe your own mind, it stops. Because generally we don't observe your mind. So the flow of thought suddenly will stop if you be very attentive. Because holding the breath means your all attention is there. There will be no flow. Practice that at home. So flow of thought is mind. How the depression happens? All negative thought. Traffic jam. I know this word is bad. I am not fit for the word. People use me, they abuse me, and I am the most unfortunate person. These are thoughts of a depressed person. See what life has done to me. There can be great challenges in life. By the way, life is not a simple thing. Life can bring in huge challenges. But then if you are spirited, you can surmount any challenge. So depression is what? It's just thought. Looping thought. Looping thought. Self-deprecating thought. Becomes depression. Which just cripples the whole body. Now I ask you, when is your mind your greatest enemy? Tell me the instance when one's mind is the greatest enemy of one's mind. That's animosity, but greatest I'm saying. When it convinces you that you're not fit to live and therefore you suicide. What convinces you for suicide? Your own mind convinces you. In a way, you convince yourself. Because there's no separation between you and the instrument that you have called mind, the idiot servant. In fact, intelligent servant. But the one servant controls master, but the master is idiot. So your mind tells you you are no good. See the fallacy of it. Because you are not master of your mind. Mind rules you. It produces anger in you, it produces hatred, jealousy, so on and so forth, insomnia. So the mind is foe when it convinces you are no good or the word is bad. The word is the way word is. Now you have to meet the word. In Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says, Uddharet atmanatmanam natmanam avasadayet. Atmana hi atmana bandhu atmaivaritu atmana. He says, raise yourself by yourself, O Arjuna. So we have to lift ourselves. In us there is a higher self, in us there is a lower self. And if you are centered in mind, you are operating from lower self. You are centered in awareness, the witness, the consciousness. Only then you are operating from greater source. So lift yourself by yourself. Uddharet atmanatmanam natamanam avasadait. Because mind is a very powerful enemy. And the closest, not closest, it lives in you. Other enemies you can save. Na, Z laga diya, Z category, Y category. What do you do with the mind? No security helps. Just some quick facts. Depression is a greater pandemic than the pandemic. Let me tell you. This pandemic will go another 2, 3, 4 months, 6 months max. Depression is there. Depression kills more people every year than COVID kills in 2 years. Do your math. Now, COVID killed in 2 years, depression kills every year. More people. So, yoga is you have to save yourself from frustration, from despondency, from anger. Do you recognize him? Who doesn't, right? Bright. See what hands up, what a smile. Right? What killed him? His own mind. Right? See the fallacy. You recognize him? Cafe Coffee Day promoter. What is his name? Anyone? PG Siddharth, right? He is a damad of a ex-CM. Against suicide. A nice gentleman, a great entrepreneur. Some problem, some इधर उधर ट्रैक में चला गया आदमी. भाई प्रॉब्लम है तो है ना. Why to finish yourself? Be greater than the problem. That's yoga. When you become bigger than the problem you face, then the yoga is blessing you. You're going to face a lot of problems in life. You're just starting, right? Problem of posting, problem of department, problem of location. Corona itself is a running problem. So be bigger than the problem. लाइफ में सब कुछ मिलता नहीं है. लाइफ में सब कुछ अवतारों को भी नहीं मिला, भगवान को भी नहीं मिलता है ना. रामचंद्र जी पैदा हुए और जिस दिन उनका राज तिलक हुआ उसी दिन क्या हुआ? उसी दिन वनवास भी हो जाता है. तो जिस दिन आपका राज तिलक होगा, वनवास के लिए तैयार रहे तो समझो योगा ब्लेस कर रहा है आपको. Seriously, that's the character of life. And they are called avatar because they demonstrate by living that. How many of you are born in prison? हाँ, सब अच्छे अच्छे हॉस्पिटल में या घर में पैदा हुआ. Lord Krishna is born where? In the prison. And who is waiting to kill Lord Krishna? Sons. When I see the predicament, born in prison and somebody is waiting to kill you at the gate. Yeah. That's why it's called क्या? Yogi Raj कहते उन्हें, Yogeshwar कहते, right? Because when you can surmount that, our gods demonstrate. You can do that. He's saying you can do that. You can bring in that energy that which was there. All of you can do that. This family, anyone recognizes? This is Buraki family. All people, some understanding, some their own personal philosophy of going in heaven. Please, question your philosophy. Sometimes your philosophy will kill you because you have not inquired the philosophy. Don't swallow any philosophy, even what I'm telling that also. Question, but question with intent. Recently, there was one suicide where two daughters and a mother did that suicide in South Delhi somewhere. उन्होंने अपना घर बंद करके और एक अंगीठी जला दी कोयले की, है ना? सब CO भर गया पूरी उसमें, concentrated CO, and sweetly they died. And they had a note on the gate. जब खोलें तो switch ना on करें because CO भरी explosion हो सकता है. The planning also. Something is there. You just get victim of that. Challenges सर सबके जीवन में होते हैं. Challenges को sorrow में हम convert करते हैं. I'll say how. भगवान ने दुख नहीं बनाया है. Listen me carefully. Who said that? Challenges बनाया. Give him big hand. What's your name? Please question this aspect. We all experience sorrow. Nanak says, Nanak दुखिया सब संसार. Exception भी बताते हैं वो next line में. I'm not touching that. So sorrow takes a toll across the board. Life has challenges. Sorrow is my own creation. भगवान ने sorrow करके कोई entity नहीं बनाई है. ये हमारे mind में create होता है. खाली possibility है sorrow की. And we tell that possibility. Because challenges are there. There was wealth. Wealth can be destroyed. When the life can be destroyed. That's a setup, na? What is the qualification to die for anyone? What is the qualification to die? To be born, right? The only qualification to die is what? To be. When anyone is born, is qualified for death. Jayate hi dhruvo mrityuhu. That's a setup. People, you should all have long life. I pray, may God's blessing be there. But see the order of life. What I'm trying to say is life has problems. Problems are actually fuel of life. Listen me carefully. Problems are inspiration for life. They are fuel for life. No problem means no life actually. हम क्या करते हैं? प्रॉब्लम ही तो सॉल्व कर रहे हैं सब जगह, है ना? All consultants, big consultants, McKinsey, PwC, what they do? Problem solving. You give a problem statement, they come with a solution. We are also doing what? Solving problem for power. Else, problem will be there. So there should be no problem there. That is our problem. That is your problem. People should not suffer in darkness. It's your problem, right? You problem solving. So is problem solving a problem? The fact is taking problem as a problem is a problem. Problem can be springboard. So always cut through the problem and look for an opportunity. Now, wherever you post it, you will see some brighter spots, some darker spots. Hang on to what? Brighter ones. Otherwise, we'll always see the what? Dark side. And my guru used to say it's called mosquito philosophy. एक मच्छर ना हमेशा कहाँ बैठता है? Dark, dingy place. Don't suffer from mosquito philosophy ever. Everywhere there is a brighter spot. हर चीज पैकेज में है. सबको सब कुछ नहीं मिलता है. सब कुछ पाने का एक ही जरिया है योग. और कोई तरीका सब कुछ पाने का नहीं, वो मैंने बता दिया आपको। सब कुछ माने लिमिटलेस। लिमिटलेस मीन अंदर ही है, सब कुछ अंदर से मिलेगा और कुछ कुछ बाहर से मिलेगा। जो कुछ लेना है ले लो, बट ये सब कुछ मत छोड़ो। You know what I'm saying? So, be mindful. This audience and whoever listening to me, please, everyone, I request you, whenever a thought of hurting self, killing self comes, remember my face. Life is precious. It's the best gift you can have. Come out of that rut. Never ever let that thought linger here for a moment. Give your life in service if you cannot use it for yourself. At least you can do that. अगर आपको लगे कि आपकी जिंदगी इतनी खराब हो गई है, सब लोग से बात कर रहा हूँ, come to me, I'll give you a job. Not paid one. At least your life will be utilized. So find something for you. Don't ever think. Every youth I say, I have this dream to actually tell people, don't kill yourself, sir. Whatever be the problem, there is a solution, there is a hope, there is a way. And so be mindful of this mind. This is what called mindfulness. Now, अभी जैसे हम exercise कर रहे थे वो, to see the mind. There's another little more in a different manner I want to put it. एक शॉप थी, एक बंगाली साहब थे, नो रिफ्लेक्शन ऑन एनी बंगाली पीपल, बिकॉज मैं दुर्गापुर में मैंने काम किया तो मेरे बहुत सारे बंगाली फ्रेंड्स थे। सो उन्होंने एक मछली की दुकान खोली आसनसोल में, और एक बोर्ड लगा दिया, फ्रेश फिश सोल्ड हियर। बंगाली स्टार्टेड सेलिंग फिशेस। कुछ दिन बाद उनके एक मित्र आए और वो बोलते हैं कि जी मछली का कोई दान तो देता नहीं है, यू आर सेलिंग, you have a business, so sold word is superficial. तो बोर्ड में उनको समझ आई बात, लॉजिक था, तो उन्होंने उसको वाइट कर दिया। व्हाट इज द बोर्ड? फ्रेश फिश हियर। कुछ दिन बाद एक और मित्र आए उनके, और उन्होंने कहा यार नो बडी, यू डोंट एवर सेल अ स्टेल फिश। बासी मछली कौन खाता है? तो इट इज ऑलवेज फ्रेश। सो इनका भी सुपरफ्लुअस है, तो हट गया। अब क्या हो गया? Fish here. Then a third person comes another week. He said, Ghosh Babu, এই fish तो এই গন্ধ মারে, এটা হেয়ার কি করে আপনি লিখেছেন? तो the hair is over. महक से ही पता लग जाएगा मछली पर जा रही है, तो fish. And then this way he said, what is this fish? ये तो मछली बाजार में ही दुकान है ना, ये तो मछली तो बेचोगे? And it also goes. Kind of a jokes, है? What I'm saying is, if you inquire your mind, it just drops off. It leaves a blank space. It's a very beautiful exercise, ma'am, sir, everyone. If you really observe your mind, your thoughts slow down. Slowly, they just drop off. What remains is a pure consciousness, very spacious space. That is the space of all benediction. And yoga seems to seek that. Anyone who hits that space is a transformed man. है ना? सो एक संत हैं, तो कहते हैं मानसम तु किम इति मार्गने कृते नैव मानसम इति मार्ग आर्जवात. If you inquire what this blessed mind is, in fact it's just a space. Like space में बादल आते हैं ना, ऐसे ही चैतन्य स्पेस में थॉट्स आते हैं. Those thoughts are very beautiful, useful, and sometimes deadly. So जो थॉट्स, अगर हम उस स्पेस में सेंटर्ड हो जाएं, अभी हम थॉट पे सेंटर्ड हैं. लिसन टू मी, दैट्स योगा, विचारात्मक. हम अपने विचारों पे टंगे रहते हैं, टिके रहते हैं. अगर हम विचारों को देखना शुरू करें, देयर विल बी सेपरेशन बिटवीन माय थॉट एंड द अवेयरनेस दैट आई एम. So from being thought centered, that is mind centered, you become awareness centered. There's space between you and thought. So you get a choice which thought to entertain, which thought to let. You don't control the thought. And like जैसे घर में मेहमान आते हैं तो आपको सबको चाय नहीं पीते हैं ना, शायद चाय नहीं ऑफर करते हैं. कि सबको चाय पिलाते हैं, यू क्वालिफाई। तो ऐसे ही थॉट है, जैसे एनिमिकल थॉट है, लो थॉट है, यू लेट इट गो, जस्ट ऑब्जर्व। एंड बहुत एक्साइटिंग थॉट है, यू आइडेंटिफाई, बिकॉज अनलेस यू आइडेंटिफाई यू विल नॉट एक्ट, बिकॉज यू आर ऑब्जर्विंग। इन द वर्ड वी हैव टू एक्ट। पहले ऑब्जर्व करके क्या होगा? वी आर नॉट हियर टू जस्ट ऑब्जर्व, बट वी हैव टू बी वेरी ऑब्जर्वेंट। We are discussing nature of mind. That is the aim of yoga, to purify mind. How Maharshi Patanjali defines it? He says, yoga chitta vritti nirodha. इतना ही technical definition है सर. Yogas chitta vritti nirodha. What is yoga? To stop this uncontrolled, autogenic, incessant.
हाँ सर, हो गया कंप्लीट सर। जितना भी मैम ने दिखाया, ये आपने
जो
फायर एक्सटिंग्विशर वाला बोला,
अनियंत्रित जो प्रवाह है विचारों का, पे लगाम लगाना है, इस पे नियंत्रण करना है।
हो चुका है सर कंप्लीट,
योगा
उसी टाइम पे पूरा कंप्लीट होना है। आपको लास्ट टाइम बोला था नहीं कंप्लीट नहीं होगा, वो पूरा कंप्लीट होगा।
To look at yoga is to see things properly. Therefore, yogi is also called seers. मैं ऋषि को क्या कहते हैं? SEER, seer. Only simple seer, because they see directly. They see. Seeing is a very critical thing. All of you see, but you don't see properly from the yoga standpoint. Don't get offended. That's why the sorrow is there. Because अगर हम देखेंगे तो sorrow नहीं होगा। पेन है, चैलेंज है। पेन तो ऑब्जेक्टिव है ना, फिजिकल है। दर्द होता है, दर्द को दुख में हम बदलते हैं। वियोग हो सकता है, विरह हो सकता है, उसको दुख में हम बदलते हैं। तो हम सही, नुकसान हो सकता है, नुकसान इज ऑब्जेक्टिव लॉस। मे बी सम स्ट्रेस इज देयर, बट व्हाई सॉरो? In any way, someday things will go. Whatever car you will drive will go to scrapyard at some point of time, right? So yoga is seeing suchness of things. हम चीजों को जैसी वो है वैसा नहीं देखते हैं, हम चीजों को वैसा देखते हैं जैसे हम हैं। इसीलिए भगवान बुद्ध का एक नाम था तथागत। How many of you know तथागत, right? उनका नाम तथागत क्यों पड़ा? क्योंकि उन्होंने एक सिद्धांत प्रतिपादित किया, ता तथा, चीजें जैसी हैं उनको वैसा देखना, seeing as it is. Now I'll tell you how we don't see things as it is. Normally what we have is a perception of word. Perception. That perception has my own education as a background, my own religious background as a background, my country. All that is beautiful, but they color my profession. They all color my perception. एक दूध वाला एक साहब के यहाँ दूध देता था, तो वो कम 5 मील वॉक करके आता था। रिच मैन, बिकॉज ही हैड लॉट ऑफ बफेलोज। तो जिनके यहाँ दूध देता था उन्होंने बोला, यार तू स्कूटर क्यों नहीं खरीद लेता एक? बोला, साहब जितने में स्कूटर खरीदूंगा उतने में तो एक और भैंस आ जाएगी। बोले, लेकिन तू भैंस पे चढ़ के आएगा तो अच्छा लगेगा क्या? बोले, साहब जब मैं मन में जब स्कूटर को दूध दूंगा तो अच्छा लगेगा क्या? We see what we want to see. We have certain conditioning. We have certain positionality. The perception is because of certain inner conditioning, which I call positionality. Who is right in the picture? Both are right. You can say that because you are not one of them. If you imagine you'll fight with other person, right? If you put yourself in their shoes, there's a fight. So, but you can appreciate, because both of them right, still there is a fight. What insight you get from this? At least. What insight you get? One is you be aware that I have certain positionality in terms of my acculturation, my background. The person also had certain positionality. So you will be a little more open to listen. तो कभी किसी चीज को जब भी आर्ग्यूमेंट हो, बी वेरी ओपन, है ना? जैन से स्यातवाद, है ना, जो लर्न लोग होते हैं वो अपना आर्ग्यूमेंट कैसे रखते हैं, सर आई मे बी रॉन्ग बट देन दे से do that responsibly, because actually you may be wrong, you only think you are right. So if you have that discipline, most of the conflicts in family, in organization will go. The will say, "Arey, boss thinks is very intelligent," and then subordinate will say, "He becomes very intelligent." Arey, let us together be intelligent. So let us have team solve a thing. So perception is subjective, vision is not. इसीलिए दृष्टि है और दृष्टिकोण है. दृष्टि is 360 degree as they say, right? दृष्टिकोण is this. We have दृष्टिकोण, we doesn't have दृष्टि. 360 degree is a big order. Seeing the word as it is, one has to be Buddha, nothing less. Now, why the problem of perception? Yoga says, yoga use a term called Rajju Sarpa Nyaya. Sir, I am exceeding little time. Is that okay? Another 5-10 minutes I'll take? 10 minutes. Then allow me 10 minutes. So it's called Rajju Sarp Nyay. रस्सी के ऊपर सांप देखना. We use certain maxims. रस्सी के ऊपर सांप देखते हैं ना अंधेरे में, कभी जाते हैं टहलते हुए, एक रस्सी दिखती है रास्ते पे और हम डर जाते हैं. ऐसा हुआ कभी किसी के साथ? अक्सर होता है. कोई भी चीज, केबल है, रस्सी है, वो सांप है वहां पे क्या? नहीं. किसने तैयार किया? तैयार किया. ऐसे ही सौरो भी है. लुक एट दिस पिक्चर. व्हाट यू सी इन दिस पिक्चर? We are looking at, we are questioning our own perception through a analogy. Just quickly, a rhino is painting, right? Looking at the word. And in every painting, is beautifully painting, he is showing his own horn. In every painting. Why? Because he's seeing that. He is very objective. Rhino is very objective. जो देख रहा है वही बना रहा है, लेकिन वो दुनिया नहीं बना रहा है. दुनिया में अपनी हॉर्न भी डाल रहा है. ऐसे ही हम है, हमारी जो सब्जेक्टिविटी है ना, इट इज लाइक आवर ओन हॉर्न. वी जस्ट लाइक दिस राइनो पेंटिंग द वर्ड. इज दैट अ ट्रू पिक्चर ऑफ द वर्ड? नो, बिकॉज हम अपने को घुसा रहे हैं उसमें. सो वो अपने को थोड़ा अलग करके देखना, थोड़ा दूर से देखना, है ना, उसको अनइन्वॉल्व्ड विजन कहते हैं. अदरवाइज the perceiver pollutes the perception and perceives the perceived as an extension of the perceiver, having an illusion that perceiver is perceiving the perceived. इसका आशय इस पिक्चर में ना, perceiver pollutes the perception and perceives the perceived as an extension of the perceiver, having an illusion that perceiver is perceiving the perceived. Meaning is clear, sir? दृष्टा जो है दृश्य को प्रदूषित कर देता है. दृष्टा किसी दृश्य को शुद्ध रूप में ना देखकर अशुद्ध रूप में देखता है, क्योंकि उसका अतीत जो है आके उसको प्रदूषित कर देता है. Get it now? अतीत means all my past, all my autobiography. I'll tell a small story which my guru often tells. We took a couple of lectures here also. Once what happened, a Mahatma came to Delhi to deliver a lecture. Now that Mahatma, he was passing by somewhere near Bhikaji Kama, a new building came up. So suddenly he asked the driver, stopped his taxi wala, what is this building? Just stopped. So as he was touching his shoulder, the taxi wala went berserk. Left, right, left, right, left, right. So Mahatma said, what happened? Sir, don't touch me like that. So what happened? He said, it's not your problem, it's my problem. But then what is your problem? He said, for 30 years I was driving a van. Today is the first day I'm driving a cab. So Mahatma got confused. वैन तो बड़ा होता है, कैब तो छोटा होता है, तो कैब तो ज्यादा आसान है चलाना. He said, नहीं सर, in that cab, that van, I used to carry dead bodies. When you touch me, he had some different this thing, right? So, sir, is the perception of the driver about that touch of the Mahatma is okay or polluted? Polluted. That's why, right. Question yourself whenever you observe anything, any situation, any problem. Question yourself. So finally, something I could talk. Yoga is a big thing to unfold, and in 75 minutes, it's very difficult for me, very challenging, very frightening also even for me. Like any consultant, when something is told, something is recommended. My recommendation for you is these two things. Forget all other things. They are just for some insights. So one is called Karma Yoga, other is called Kriya Yoga. Look, again, remember the early things. Seek, claim that limitlessness, and then express that limitlessness in your action. Both things. I'm not saying you withdraw, leave the word. You be the champion, the master of the word. But you can be that only when you claim that limitlessness, that is your own nature. So do both. Karma Yoga is what? When you do your duty in a very dedicated manner. What are the features of Karma Yoga? Steadfastness in one's duty. Actions as an offering to Lord. So कहते हैं प्रसाद बुद्धि, ईश्वर अर्पण बुद्धि. It is called ईश्वर अर्पण बुद्धि. And then glad acceptance of the result. In our tradition, when we offer prasad to Lord, what comes, we take it, we bow down. So make your action as offering to Lord. Every one of you clap once, clap. Now clap in a way, just once, clap in a way, like bring this fast, no sound comes. You're not clapping, you're touching. Clap and no sound comes. It's true. It is not possible, sir. What I'm trying to point out, if you clap, you don't produce the sound. Are you producing sound? Allah produces sound. You're controlling what? Movement of your hand. Sound is taken over by a law, an order. What we control is our movement, our action. You can plan because word is predictable also. So certain, therefore you plan, na, this way you do, this will be outcome. And हम खाते हैं ना तो वो भोजन नली में ही जाता है, श्वास नली में नहीं जाता, because order works. So order beautifully works. There's uncertainty also. You provide for that. So point is the result comes from Lord because that comes from law, the higher order. What you control is what? Only anyone controls result. The result comes from order. So therefore it's a prasad. So whatever comes from, आप अपना जी जान प्रिपरेशन करके पूरी तैयारी करके अपना काम कर रहे हैं. And whatever result comes, अगर आपने अच्छी प्रिपरेशन की है, result will be according to your liking. If it is not, still there is a glad acceptance. And defining features of Kriya Yoga is regular practice. Whatever pranayam you have learned, I have not initiated you any. In the YouTube, there is a Vedant Vidya channel of mine. One Kriya is there called Ananda Yoga Kriya. If anyone is interested, you can go there and practice that. So introspection and surrender on to the Lord. Kriya Yoga will take what? 20-30 minutes in the morning. And Karma Yoga, whole of your active time. 10 hours, 12 hours, 8 hours, whatever you have. Whatever you do, offer it to the Lord. Whatever comes, becomes glad acceptance. Simple to say, difficult to practice. Will you practice, yeah? Or you say management is not doing that, not doing this. Another aspect of yoga is what we were call inspiration. The source is within. Look at that. Inspiration, technically, inspiration is meeting of head and heart. Wherever head and heart will converge, inspiration will happen. You see something you like and you want to get it. What is happening? Head and heart converging. Internally also it happens. That is what Kriya Yoga is. There's a feminine aspect in us, which is heart. There's a masculine aspect in us, which is head. When you do Kriya Yoga, this internal fusion also happens. It is called Andha Pangu Nyaya. हम एक कहानी सुनते रहे हैं बचपन में कि एक जलते हुए जंगल में आग लगी, वहां पे दो लोग थे. वन वॉज ब्लाइंड, अनदर वॉज लेम. सो जो अंधा था उसके वो चल सकता था, और जिसके पैर नहीं थे वो देख सकता था. हाउ दे आर गोइंग टू क्रॉस द जंगल? तो कोलैबोरेट, राइट? अंधुपंगु न्याय. ऐसे ही हमारा आवर हार्ट is blind. The heart is blind but powerful. Our mind can see, cannot act. When heart and head get fused, inspiration is there. That also is yoga, union of head and heart. And in any of these kind of a session, there are three steps: Siksha, Prerana and Lakshya. अब जब भी हम किसी को काउंसिल करते हैं, द ट्रैक इज यू गिव सम टिप्स, सम एजुकेशन, यू गिव इंस्पिरेशन एंड यू गिव अ विजन, लक्ष्य. व्हाट शुड बी द विजन ऑफ लाइफ? व्हाट शुड द विजन ऑफ लाइफ? अभी हमारा क्या ट्रैक है? सक्सेस 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 सक्सेस, है ना? ऑब्जेक्ट 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 ऑब्जेक्ट. हमने शुरू में देखा कि दे विल नॉट सेटिएट अस. ऑब्जेक्ट विल ब्रिंग यू कंफर्ट, ब्रिंग यू लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स, बट सेटिएशन विल नॉट हैपन. So, don't just pursue success. खाली सफलता के पीछे मत भागिए. सफलता बहुत जरूरी है. संतोष को भी एड्रेस कीजिए. That, then the fulfillment happens. There's no problem in working for name, fame, money, power, but don't let satisfaction be neglected. Address that. And satisfaction can only come from self-knowledge, from self-recognition. There is no other satisfaction that I know. When that happens, life becomes beautiful. All of you have been a wonderful audience. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Thank you, Sinha Saab. Thank you, ma'am. Chanwali Saab, I overshot my time by a big margin, I suppose, 25 minutes. But that was wonderful speaking to all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the wonderful insight, especially on this particular topic of yoga and mindfulness, and the way you addressed it through visuals, etc., that actually hit people, I believe. So thank you very much. And we will, this session ends, and we will break for tea. And sir will continue the session, which will be exclusively for ETs. Okay, so we'll have tea outside Saraswati Auditorium. So please, everyone is requested to join for tea outside Saraswati Auditorium. And then we continue with sir's session for all of you. Thank you.